Oh, hi guys, welcome back to Welsh Sports. Now, I just want to give my reaction to Liam Williams losing on points to Demetrius Andrade for the WBO middleweight title. It was on the scores were on two cards 118, 109. On the third card 116, 111. That was the more realistic card. Yes, Williams was well beaten. He had his moments. And the more realistic card 116, 111. And Williams, as we know, is a warrior. He gave it his all. There can be no complaints about his bottle, about his balls, about his efforts. Great effort from Williams. But Andrade is just too good, too awkward. His footwork is too good. He's too slippery, too difficult to hit. But in the first couple of rounds, it looked like Williams was getting blown away. We were all worried that this was going to be a blowout. He was going to be embarrassed. It was going to damage his legacy and his reputation. He was put down in the second round by a simple 1-2. And he looked in trouble. He was taking a lot of punishment early on. But, quite quickly, Andrade seemed to slow down. His legs seemed to go and his movement slowed down quite early on. Certainly from the third round. And Williams started to get into it. Kept coming forward, applying a lot of pressure. And he hurt Andrade in the third round. And Andrade was uncomfortable. And that was the case for long periods. After the opening couple of rounds, Andrade didn't like being in there with Williams. He didn't like the pressure. He didn't like the aggression. Yes, he was landing a lot of shots and moving well at times. The uppercut he was landing, that left uppercut, he couldn't miss. Williams was wide open for it, coming forward, and he was just throwing it between the guard, getting great leverage on it. He's tall, he's got good balance, and he could throw it really well. But he didn't like the pressure. At times, he was holding on for dear life. He was hurt again in the ninth. Williams just kept coming forward. It wasn't pretty to watch at times. It really wasn't pretty to watch. There's a lot of holding going on. Numerous times the fighters were thrown to the ground, thrown against the ropes. It was, uncomfortable at times, but I was impressed with Andrade. I was impressed with him. He's got great skills, great ability. There are not too many fighters like Andrade out there. Williams won't come up against an Andrade again. A fighter like Andrade comes along every 10 years or so. There's about 3 in boxing at the moment. Billy Joe Saunders being one. But I think Andrade hits better than Saunders. Has the same footwork. But Saunders doesn't punch as hard and doesn't have as good a technique as Andrade. Is it negative from Andrade to fight that way? No. It's his ability, it's his talent. When a fighter is coming forward, it's easy just to move on the back foot and pick him off. And he did that most of the time. He stepped into the ring sometimes. He did let his hands go. He did throw power shots. He did stand and fight now and again. But he's such a good boxer. And Williams, punches hard. He hurt him. Williams didn't give up. But at times he was a bit predictable, a bit one-dimensional. He could have cut the ring off better. He could have thrown more at times. When he got up close, he smothered his work. But against any other fighter, you give him a great chance. There's not many that fight like Andrade. And, Williams has been on this great run. He's beaten a lot of European level fighters. He's blown a lot of fighters away. He fought Atlantis Fox, who Andrade also fought, and he beat him more convincingly than Andrade. Williams didn't harm his reputation. He's shown he belongs there just against a difficult operator. You know, Andrade was moving, turning his body. He was dipping down. So difficult to connect with. So difficult to catch clean. And like I said, Williams will not come up against a fighter like that too often. And, you know, what next? Andrade wants the big fights. You know, he's not a draw, he's not attractive. Who wants to fight Andrade? And there's no really big fights out there for him. Golovkin and Alvarez, really. You know, this era is bleak at middleweight, to be fair, at the moment. You know, there's not a big European name like Arthur Abraham. There's not a Pavlik, a Jermaine Taylor. You know, you think about Michael Nunn and Ben and Watson, Hopkins. There's not many legends at middleweight now. There's not many big names. So who is there for Andrade to fight? Is Charlo a big name? No. Is that a big blockbuster? Is that a super fight? No. There's only really 2 super fights for him. Golovkin and the winner of Alvarez and Saunders. Is Saunders a super fight? Could be if he beats Alvarez. But Andrade does want the big fights. He complains he's not getting them, but he's not needed. He's too much trouble. And you look at the rankings now. Who's out there for him, really, for a super fight? Like I said, he's in the wrong era. There's no sexy fights at the moment for him. But he has to keep plugging away, doing his best. But he's surely going to move up to super middleweight now, 168. He's too big at middleweight. I think that had some impact on his performance. But he's going to move up, vacate the belt, and maybe Williams can get a crack at the vacant belt. Maybe, well, he should retain a good ranking with the WBO. Shouldn't fall too far down. So another win, get back in the game, pick up a win, and you're in for a final eliminator or a fight for the vacant title. You know, so he's easily 2 fights away from a certainly if Andrade vacates. If Andrade vacates the title, Williams will be in line soon enough for a shot at a vacant belt. Surely, he has to be. You know, who does he fight next? Chris Eubank Jr. would be a good fight. That's not going to happen though. He's very difficult to negotiate with. But I think Williams is the favourite against Eubank. Eubank doesn't have Andrade's talent and ability. Maybe Eubank's better offensively, but can he move on the outside to keep away from Williams' pressure? Can Williams just go into Eubank and overpower him? Possibly. He punches harder, I think, than Eubank. He'll apply a lot of pressure. But there's not a lot out there, I think, for Williams. You know, Rob Brandt, the American, maybe bring him over, have a homecoming in Cardiff. Jamie Munguia, now he's next in the rankings for the WBO. That could be for the vacant title. He's got a great shot against these guys. You know, the Japanese guy, Murata, Williams can compete with these guys. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. You won't fight many like Andrade. Ever. Andrade's an Olympian. He's a 2-weight world champion. He's brilliantly talented, super awkward, a difficult fighter to go in against. Williams is a match for anybody else. Even an old Golovkin now. You put him, you know, no one will move like Andrade. So I say, you know, Rob Brandt in Cardiff for a homecoming, you know, could be an idea. The winner of Denzel Bentley and Felix Cash next week, they're both in the top 20 on BoxRec. Is that a good homecoming? You know, is that a step up for the winner and just a step down for Williams to get back in track? You know, get back in the game? That could be an option. The winner of Bentley and Cash. But there are looking at a few options for Williams. He doesn't want to go too far down. He wants to stay at this level. He's clearly fringe world class. Andrade's elite. Williams a level or 2 down. So a nice comeback fight against a Rob Brandt. Someone like that. Eubank would be brilliant, but he's difficult to deal with. So that's going to be hard to make. But Williams didn't disgrace himself. He can come again. He deserves to be in that league. He's world class. He's been on a great run. Since the defeats to Smith, he's come back well. Williams still got a future, can still achieve a lot. He's got so much ability, and it'll be nice to see him back pretty soon, hopefully July, and get back on track. Okay, cheers guys, I'll see you soon.